Rain hammered the cracked sidewalks as Michael adjusted his coat and slid into the corner booth of the nearly empty diner. His son Danny tugged at his sleeve, eyes wide and restless. The glow from the neon sign outside flickered against the grimy windows, casting shadows that seemed to crawl across the cracked tiles. Michael had just gotten off a double shift at the construction site, exhausted and aching from the cold rain when he spotted her. She was sitting at the edge of a long communal table, one leg tucked under her, the other visibly missing, covered in a worn prosthetic that looked like it had seen better days. She looked no older than 15, with eyes that were too heavy for her young face, haunted yet piercing, scanning the diner with a wary intensity. She had a small backpack at her side and a battered notebook open in front of her. Michael's chest tightened. Something about her presence was alarming and compelling all at once. Before he could decide whether to ignore her, she spoke, her voice firm but soft. "Can I share this table?" Danny leaned forward, curious. "Daddy, why doesn't she just sit somewhere else?" Michael shook his head slowly. "Sometimes people don't have anywhere else, Danny. Sometimes they're just stuck." The girl's gaze met his, unwavering, almost challenging. She didn't plead or beg, but there was an edge to her words that made Michael uneasy. It was as though she knew more than she should about the world, about people, about him. "Sure," he said finally, moving his coffee cup. Danny scooted over. The girl's eyes softened just slightly, and she offered a small, almost imperceptible smile. As she sat, the waitress came over, taking her order. She asked for nothing extravagant, a simple sandwich, water. And yet there was a meticulousness in the way she arranged her napkin, placed her pen down, and opened her notebook, as if preparing for some invisible battle. Michael watched her from the corner of his eye, uneasy. Something about her screamed danger, though not the obvious kind. More like a storm in waiting, a tension that could explode at any moment. He noticed her glance toward the exit every few minutes, then back at him, and he wondered if she was assessing him or perhaps testing him. Minutes passed in tense silence, broken only by the clatter of dishes and the low hum of the diner's heater. Danny, oblivious to the tension, started drawing on a napkin. The girl peeked at his drawing, smiled faintly, and handed him her own pencil. "Here, you need color," she said. Her voice had a strange authority. Danny grinned. "Thanks," he said. Michael felt a lump in his throat, a mixture of pride and fear. Then the diner door slammed open. A man in a dark coat, hood pulled low, stormed in, scanning the room with sharp eyes. The girl's posture shifted instantly, her calm demeanor replaced by a calculated alertness. Michael noticed her hand twitch toward her backpack. The man's gaze locked on her. "You shouldn't have come here," he said, voice low but threatening. Michael felt his stomach drop. The girl's eyes met his, unafraid. "Stay calm," she whispered under her breath. Then louder, she said, "I'm just eating. Leave me alone." The man sneered. "You're running out of time, Emily." Michael's heart stopped. Emily? He didn't know her name. His fingers clenched the edge of the table. Who is she?" he muttered to himself. Emily's hand slipped under the table, gripping something metallic. The man took a step closer, and the tension in the diner thickened, like the air before a storm. Michael realized that this wasn't just a girl in trouble. This was a situation far beyond anything he could have imagined. Then, as suddenly as it began, Emily's small frame moved with lightning speed, her prosthetic leg extending in a strange but precise motion. The man stumbled back, shock flashing across his face. Emily grabbed a chair, holding it defensively, eyes blazing. Michael wanted to intervene to shield her, but he froze. Danny's voice trembled. "Daddy!" "What's happening?" Michael swallowed hard. "Something dangerous," he whispered, trying to stay calm, but inside fear clawed at him, a fear he hadn't felt in years. Emily didn't wait for him. She darted to the door, shoulders low, calculating each step. The man recovered, lunging. But she was faster, vanishing into the rain-soaked street like a ghost. Michael stayed behind, heart hammering, knowing he should chase but rooted by disbelief and fear. Danny tugged at him. "Daddy, what do we do?" Michael exhaled slowly. "We wait, and we hope she's okay." The next morning, Michael couldn't shake the image of Emily from his mind. He had gone back to the diner, hoping to find some trace of her, but the booth was empty, the table still wet from the rain. The waitress shrugged apologetically. "I think she left early. No one saw her leave." Michael's unease grew. He couldn't understand why she had appeared in his life like a shadow, testing him, drawing him into something dangerous, and yet a strange pull kept him thinking about her, wondering if she really was just a girl, or something else entirely. As he walked home with Danny, Michael noticed a folded piece of paper stuck under his windshield wiper. He bent to pick it up. On the paper, scrawled in precise handwriting, were words that made his blood run cold. Trust no one, not even the ones who look like you. Michael froze. Danny tugged at his coat, sensing the tension. Daddy, what is it? Michael pocketed the note, trying to steady his voice. It's nothing. Just some kid's joke, he said, though he didn't believe it. That evening, as he sat with Danny, Michael noticed movement outside the window. A figure small and fast slipped between the shadows. His breath caught. Emily, or someone like her. The doorbell rang, echoing through the empty apartment. Michael approached cautiously. On the doorstep was a small package, wet from the rain. No return address. Inside, he found a backpack exactly like the one Emily had and a note. You helped once. Now help again. There's no time. Danny's eyes widened. Daddy, and what is it? Michael swallowed hard. I think we're about to find out. The following days were a blur. Strange men in dark coats appeared around his neighborhood, vanishing when he tried to confront them. Anonymous phone calls whispered warnings and threats. Michael realized that Emily had brought a storm into his life, a storm he couldn't escape. Then one night he found her waiting on the fire escape of his apartment building. She had a different prosthetic now, sleek and metallic, almost mechanical. Her eyes glinted in the moonlight. You didn't leave me behind, she said, voice calm but urgent. Good, we need to move fast. They're coming for me. And anyone who helps me. Michael's heart raced. Emily, I don't know what's happening, but you can stay here. I'll protect you. She shook her head. It's too late for protection. It's about survival. And you're already involved. There's no turning back. Danny peeked around the corner, trembling. Daddy, is she dangerous? Michael looked at Emily, at her unwavering gaze, and at the strength in her small frame. He realized danger wasn't the right word. Survival was, and if he wanted to keep Danny safe, he would have to follow Emily into a world he didn't understand. A world of shadows, secrets, and deadly calculations. That night, Michael made a decision that would change everything. He packed what little he could carry, took Danny's hand, and followed Emily into the rain-soaked streets, leaving the life he knew behind. They ran together through alleys and side streets, hearts pounding, minds racing. Michael realized the truth in the note she had left. Trust no one. And yet, for the first time in years, he trusted Emily, not because he had to, but because he had no choice. She was their only chance, their guide through a darkness he had never imagined. Hours later, they found refuge in an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. Emily lit a small lantern, casting flickering shadows across the walls. You'll need to listen, she said, eyes serious. Every word, every step, one mistake and they'll find us. And it won't just be me. It'll be your son too. Michael swallowed hard, gripping Danny's shoulder. I understand. Emily nodded, then looked out the broken windows at the storm raging outside. Tomorrow it begins, and nothing will ever be the same again. Michael realized that in a single moment, a single question about sharing a table, his life had been irrevocably altered. The girl with one leg had walked into his world, and now there was no turning back. Every decision, every choice would be a matter of life and death. And somewhere deep inside he felt a dark thrill, a suspenseful pulse, knowing that whatever came next, it would be unforgettable, shocking, and terrifying. The warehouse was silent, save for the rain and the faint hum of the city beyond. Michael and Danny huddled close as Emily prepared for the night. Outside, the storm raged on, and somewhere in the shadows, enemies waited. But inside, a fragile bond had formed, one forged in desperation, courage, and the unspoken promise that no matter what happened, they would face it together. The night was far from over, and Michael knew with a chilling certainty that the question he had answered with a simple nod hours ago, "Can I share this table?" had set into motion a chain of events from which there would be no escape. Somewhere in the darkness, Emily whispered, almost to herself, "The real test is only beginning." Morning arrived with a gray, choking fog that seemed to seep into the warehouse corners. Michael rubbed his eyes, hearing Danny stir beside him. Emily was already awake, crouched near the window, scanning the streets below with an almost predatory focus. Her prosthetic glinted in the dim light, every movement precise and deliberate. "They're closer than I thought," she said, her voice low but urgent. "We can't stay here long. They know we're hiding." Michael felt his chest tighten. "Who are they? Why me? Why Danny?" Emily didn't answer immediately. Instead, she handed him a small, nondescript envelope. Inside were photos, men in black coats, faces partially obscured, tracing his steps for days. "They'll stop at nothing," she finally said. "And if we hesitate, we lose everything." Suddenly, a metallic clatter echoed from the upper floor. Emily's eyes snapped to the sound. "Move!" she hissed. They scrambled into the shadows as footsteps descended, slow and deliberate. Michael realized with a jolt that the danger wasn't just looming. It was inside their fragile sanctuary. Danny whispered, trembling, "Daddy, they're here." Michael gripped his son's hand, heart hammering. Emily's gaze hardened. "No one leaves anyone behind. Not today. Not ever." The warehouse plunged into tense silence, broken only by the distant rumble of the city and the soft drip of water. Outside, the storm had returned, thunder rolling as if echoing the chaos about to unfold inside. Michael knew with icy certainty that the question he had once answered with a simple nod, "Can I share this table?" was now a matter of life and death, and there was no turning back.